Hello there everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Richmond Park. This one is making a splash. I wonder what I'm going to build. You've looked at the thumbnail, haven't you? You already know what I'm going to build. But, right, this is a very unique episode in many, many ways. For a start, it is the first episode to go back in time. That sounds weird if you don't know what the series is like. But within the timeline, of course, episode 1 was 3 chronologically. Episode 2 was 4 chronologically. But this one is number 2 chronologically. That's right, this is the first episode to ever go back in time. So what that means is that all the rides you see constructed in this video within the timeline were built before Vault, before Dragonfly, literally before everything you see right now. All of these rides were built before them. This is going to be the first example of the series being a bit, maybe slightly confusing. I'm not fully sure. But in short, this log flume outdates Dragonfly. So, what I wanted to go for with the area was that they've had this log flume there for years, but they wanted to revitalize and modernize the area around it. So they built Dragonfly. So that's the idea I've had for this log flume. So just think from this moment forwards, this log flume was part of an old area of the park that has seen revitalization and maybe even a slight re-theme once Dragonfly came in. Good, is that all settled? I'm hearing a resounding yes from around the room. Hopefully, I don't know. If you don't get it, rewatch that section about 17 times, and maybe it might make sense. I don't know. Either way, onto the log flume itself, which is already almost done. Look at me go! I've done it again. I've rattled on throughout the entire build process. I'm gonna say it. I'm not good at building dark rides. Well, any sort of ride that isn't a flat ride or a roller coaster. I'm really bad at building them, and that does sadly include log flumes. You're gonna see later, I can't theme them to save my life. So hence why I've gone for a very just generic theme, which of course you'll see later, and it's going to be very later, so this is a completely separate tangent. I'm looking at the time remaining in this video, and I'm recording this voiceover before I've recorded the real-time segment, and it says there's 26 minutes of this video. I don't know how it's taken that long. Like, that equates to, I'm going to guess, about 2.5 to 3 hours of footage. How did it take me 3 hours to build this log flume? It did not feel like that long. To be fair, I did build the entire area around it as well, but even that's not, like, outrageously well themed. So, yeah, I could speed the time-lapse up again to 10 times speed, but I don't think anyone wants to see that. We'd all get even more motion sickness than we do now watching 8 times speed gameplay. And another thing that sets this episode apart from the rest of them is that you may have noticed, if you're watching this on the day it comes out, of course, and not, like, 4 years in the future, it came out on a Friday. These episodes are meant to come out on Tuesdays. You know, that's a hard schedule I set. And then, for some reason, this one's come out on Friday. How strange. In short, this past week, I've been drowning in coursework. I've been very, very focused on getting my uni coursework done. And I haven't had time to do this episode. So I'm sorry for any confusion this has caused coming out on Friday instead of Tuesday. But either way, it's out now. And hopefully, episode 4 will be slightly lighter on the content. So it shouldn't take too long. And I might be able to have that one out by Tuesday as well. So the schedule shouldn't be disrupted. Either that or I'll switch to Fridays for the last 3 episodes. Either way, while I do some general landscaping, I'll go on a bit more about what the next series will be. Because I've done a lot of thinking around the next series, and I like to say I am very ready and very excited for the next series. Not that this one's bad, but this one is definitely like testing the waters of a Planet Coaster series. If you can tell the fact that it's like, you know, a set length, it's not a big grand park really. It's a very small family-owned park for now. No spoilers, but yeah, I'm very excited for the next one. I mean, if you weren't already aware, it's going to be a much bigger, like, the Epic Universe, or I can't think of another big park that's opened recently, but like it's going to be like Epic Universe, where like it's a big modern park that's only just opened. Whereas this one is nowhere near that. This one's been there for like 50 years. But I'm very excited for the next one. So far I've decided on one coaster that I know I absolutely have to build. I'm not going to give anything away. I'm going to stop myself from spoiling it this time. But it's a really like ambitious project, but it's something it sounds so fun to build. I really want to give it away. I can't. Oh no. Okay, I can't say what it is, but just I am. Like, I've been sat here for about an hour before recording this. What's it called? This voiceover, just thinking about what this coaster is going to be like, and assuming I can get it all right, I am so excited for this coaster. Of course, I've got to like make the rest of this series first, but that just gives me more time for the idea to stew and like get better over time. But just know, there are very exciting things ahead. At least for me, there are very exciting things for me ahead. I don't know if any of you will find this coaster exciting, but yeah. Either way, the point is, I cannot wait for the next series. Because after building this park, I just want to build big. You know, I just want to build the big, tall, fast roller coasters everywhere, and build this specific roller coaster that is going to be so. Oh, it's gonna be something, alright. I'm gonna love it. Either way, back on topic. As you can see, the station has gone in very quickly, as well as I imagine some queue theming. I don't know. I'm currently building a bridge for some reason, so I cannot see what I built. But oh yeah, I'm just expanding the queue line fences everywhere. And I forgot I did this as a slight, almost indicator that this is an older area of the park. You'll notice that all of the area fencing has slightly darker wood. Which is supposed to indicate that this is an old section of the park. I've only just realised how uninteresting that is. Did you know the wood is slightly darker around here because it's old? Sorry, that is very, very uninteresting voiceover. But I don't know, it's just a little fun thing I did. I've frozen again. What's happened to me? Hello? Where have I gone? Oh, I hate when this happens. I'll just randomly walk. There we go. I'll randomly walk away during the recording and forget that I'm recording. So there'll just be periods will stop for like 2 minutes. It must be very annoying as the viewer because all of a sudden there's nothing to watch, and you're forced to just listen to me. Oh no! Anyhow, what's going on screen? I'll tell you. I'm building the queue fences now for the Ferris wheel, and soon. Actually, I don't think I'll build custom fences for the what's it called? I don't even know what the ride's called. It's just like a very old waltzer, pretty much. I don't think I built the queue fences for that yet, and I don't think I do in this episode. But, I mean, these are two rides that need names. The log flume does get a name in this episode, but I'll have to come up with names, or I am once again open to suggestions if you have any ideas for the Ferris wheel and that little waltzer thing you can see on the right screen. Oh, it's gone. Never mind. Oh, look, I'm having a lovely ride on the Ferris wheel. Look at me go. But speaking of names, the top scan and chair swing do get a name in this episode. I finally named them. The area still does not, because I'm still trying to think of what that will be called. But, like I said, the log flume does get a name. I know, right? How exciting. Thrilling news from me. Anyhow, very shortly, I should be going into the station to theme up the inside. Well, I say theme up in heavy quotation marks there. I don't think it's my worst station I've ever built, but it's not a particularly like well-themed one. I don't know. The theming is minimal, but I think it's fitting for an old log flume that's recently had some work done to it. Here we go. As you can see, I'm putting in some logs. I know, right? Thrilling. There we go. Now they're no longer floating. The theming in the station is pretty much just logs suspended in the air by big wooden things. I know, right? Have you ever seen better theming in your life? Don't even answer. I already know it's no. No one has ever beaten me in terms of theming here. But don't worry, the theming will get better. There will be barrels. But you may be asking, why barrels? What does that have to do with this ride? Well, I was inspired by... I don't even remember where I saw it. I think it was just like... I think it might have been like a Reddit post or something about regarding Planet Coaster. And it just pointed out how much Universal and like Disney use barrels as theming. And that's caused me to realise that barrels can fit with any theme pretty much. Like, it's really weird. I don't get how it works, but barrels... So I've said barrels too much now. It doesn't sound like a word anymore. But barrels somehow fit into every single theme you can think of. Especially this log flume, thankfully. So, sorry, I've talked way too long about, like, a tiny bit of the station theming now. But onto theming, look at this. The building around the first drop, well, not actually around the first drop, but around the first section before the first drop is going in. And you're going to see in a minute, I fight this building I fight the roof of this building. For whatever reason, everything broke. The game just would not agree with me. But that's later. I'm going to keep that ramble for when we get to it. Because, as you can see, I'm putting in some floors. Strange enough, I only just made the realization when building this that I can raise the floors around the log flume, and then you can actually see the theming. Because every other time I've built a log flume my entire time in this game, I've just built the theming, like, down at the bottom of the trough, but you can't actually see it down there. So, yeah. Somehow I've only just made the thrilling realization that I can, in fact, just raise up the theming. Anyhow, here comes that troublesome roof, and you're going to see in a second, it just disagrees with me. So yeah, here we go. I'm trying to place this piece in, and it won't line up for some reason. Like, there's a strange gap. I don't understand what's going on. So I think, okay, the whole roof must be slightly too high. So I try and move it down. I miss some pieces, and I put it in the wrong place. And then I cannot select the whole roof for some reason. The multi-select tool just breaks, and it just keeps randomly deselecting stuff. So I've had to reload the park. I know, right? It's tragic. It's not really that tragic, I lied. But look, that did fix everything. And so I have something to ramble on about, because, like I say, this video is 27 minutes long before the, what's it, not live action, the real-time segment. Might as well talk about something. It was on screen for a split second, but you may have noticed that the save file is called Pennington Creek for some reason. Why is this? That's not a secret, like, an extra name for the park or anything. That's just the save file that this park was built on top of. Because when I first got my PC, and then I got Planet Coaster on it, I wanted to get familiar with the controls, so I built a little test park called Pennington Creek. And then, because Pennington Creek, if the initials, they make PC. Look, aren't I so smart with it? No, I'm not. But either way, that park, it was rubbish and tiny, and the coasters were both bad because I was still learning the PC controls. But so at some point, I don't even remember doing this really. I just sort of deleted everything in that park and started this one. Anyhow, let's get back on topic. You can't see it, but I just cut about 2 minutes of extra rambling from that. Yeah, apologies for my tendency to go very off topic for 4 hours at a time. But either way, back on topic. As you can see, I'm currently building up the cave section. What is the importance of the cave? I don't know. Why do you go into a cave? I don't know. But I find that old log flumes, they don't tend to have the most cohesive themes, do they? Like, though at least not like log flumes that don't follow a particular theme or like a storyline throughout. They do just like go and they just go into the forest and come back. That's their whole theme. So I feel like I can be excused for just having a random cave or this section which is just rocks and a lot of them. Yeah, I don't even know what the theme of this area was going to be. Wait, hang on. Something big is going to happen here. Water falls. Look at them. They're falling. The water is falling. Yes. This is what we love to see. Luckily, they don't go in the boats. They are purely just decoration or waterfalls. But you can imagine going past them would be very cool. Yeah, that is the whole point of this section of the log flume. You go past some waterfalls. Thrilling stuff. Okay, you know, I'm going to do something quite rare. I won't lie, the building of the log flume is not too interesting. It's all just rocks and plants at the moment. So I'm going to cut ahead to when something actually interesting happens. Sorry to all my rock and plant fans out there. You don't get to see all that construction. And wow, here we are. Look at that. All those rocks and plants are gone, and we're outside the sawmill. That's right. That's what this section of the ride is going to be themed to. I'm going to do 2 passes of this building. So you've got this. Look, there are the barrels. I knew it. There would be barrels. But I'm going to do 2 passes of this building. This is the very rough first I want to build a sawmill idea. And then later, I'll come back when I actually start to like refine the theme of the ride. And you'll see this whole building somewhat come together. Hopefully. I can't guarantee how good this building's going to look, but hopefully it will all come together in the end. But either way, actually you will ride past a machine that is sawing the logs in half, almost like that's what happens in a sawmill. And a stack of logs too. There's going to be a log hanging above your head, which I should get. More barrels! Sorry, I got way too overexcited about the barrels there. This is great news. And there's a little water effect as well that will spray water at you from where it's being cut. So it looks like you're being sprayed by sawdust, but you're not, because you can't really spray riders with sawdust. So they'll complain. But anyway, there's the log that is held up by ropes above your head. I was thinking about having it like kind of drop down a little bit, but this is not a horror ride. I don't want to threaten everyone with being squished by a big log. So it's going to stay perfectly stationary. And if you couldn't tell, I had no idea what to do for the wall, so I just put planks. Lots and lots of planks on the wall. Anyhow, we're moving away from the log flume for a second, because I'm going to give names to all the rides that didn't have them. So, the chair swing is being named Twirling Treetops. It's not the greatest name I've ever made, I won't lie, but none of them ever are. So, but I think it's a nice fitting name, you know, you're themed to swinging from a big spinning tree. And now, for this one, guys, I'm not going to lie, I knew the name for this one when I built it. I just couldn't be bothered to build the sign when I put it in. That's right, it's Overdrive. And you're going to see now, I'm going to fight this sign for a solid 10 minutes, because I had a very specific vision with this sign, and I just could not get it right until I eventually did get it right. But I want to have the logo spinning. I want to have a big, like, spinning, almost saw blade. And then I accidentally did that, and so that looked really cool. So I've stuck with that now. And then, oh yeah, I had to fight the game for a bit, because it wouldn't put it on the ride. But fortunately, at that point, I had an even better idea. Which was to... I'm not going to do it yet, am I? Because it was here I noticed the sign was way too big. So I put it back down, which is where I had a grand old thought. A big idea, if you will. Can I please put the sign down? Why am I still trying this? Here we go. Look, this is where I had a big old grand idea. Make half of it black, like the ride's colour scheme, and look at that. I don't know, I can't tell if it looks good or not. And then, yeah, the name just goes over that, and it all looks fine and dandy. And then, it gets even better. Well, the logo doesn't get any even better, but the logo does appear somewhere else. Where does it appear? Oh my god, how long do I build this thing? Now, here it appears. That's right, you actually wanted to stick to the ride this time. It must have been a sign, obviously. But yes, I thought it'd be cool to have the spinning logo on the ride itself. It does mean that, like, when the ride's in motion, you can't really tell that it's spinning. Because, well, it is set to, like, the slowest setting possible. But, either way, I feel we might be almost nearing the end. Except no, we're not, because there's still another 10 minutes. How do I spend another 10 minutes on this? You tell me. But here we are. I'm currently building a restaurant. I don't know why I said that, as if that's really thrilling. I'm building a restaurant, because the park didn't have a full, dedicated restaurant just yet. And, I mean, this is another thing that I'm really quite bad at building. Like, big indoor spaces like this. So, I think in the end... it came together alright, but it's going to look bad until, like, the last 2 minutes of this video, so you're just going to have to trust the process here. It's going to be bad for a little while, but it should eventually turn into something good. Either way, as you can see, I've gone for these weird fairy tale benches. Why? I don't know. These do not fit the theme of the area in the slightest, but I've gone for them either way, and I love this idea of having one big, long table in the middle. So that's what I did. Actually, I don't remember if I make 2 of them. I might, because I'm going to come back to this restaurant later. Here we go, I'm building the queue now. I'm going to come back to the restaurant later, but I think I make 2 big long tables. But that's not important, because here comes the name of the log flume. I was right. Oh no, this is in the ramble I cut out. Yes, that's right, it's called Wildwood Falls. And if you remember, this area was originally going to be called Wildwood Grove. But I'm going to pick a different name, because... Dollywood already has that name. So, but either way, I've referenced it in the name of the log flume at least. So, I think all is happy there. All my Wildwood fans, here it is. And a big focus of mine for this series, is to get better at doing, like, entrance signs. And, you know, I'm quite happy with how this one came out. It's a big, like, 3D sign, and you're going to see in a second when I put the fence, yeah, there you go, when I put the walls in. It's going to have a really, like, cool effect to it. Or an effect that I think is quite cool. It does take me, like, 7 minutes to find the right rock. Which is an embarrassingly long amount of time. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, I remember that taking you a lot longer than it did to find that rock. But either way, actually, the words are going to be sort of, encased in the rock. And, hang on, I'm going to do it. No, I'm putting more rocks, never mind. Oh, I can never... Here I go! That's right. There will be water. Sorry, that was really, really underwhelming. But look, I've got like water with like splashes at the bottom. I don't know. I think it looks cool, and it gets across the message that you will get wet on this ride. I don't know. Is that just what I'm telling myself? I don't know. But either way, here comes the queue theming, and theming is once again in very, very heavy quotation marks, because it's just more rocks. You're gonna find that that's a running theme of this ride. The theming is either logs or rocks. And oh no, hang on, there's a tree. Oh, and I accidentally pressed F1, which opened a random thing on my PC, and I think it's gonna happen about 7 more times. I don't know why. In this particular like half an hour stretch of building, I managed to press F1 700 times, and I never turned off the feature to do that for some reason. I have a button right there which can stop it from doing that, but I never pressed it for some reason. Either way, you just saw logs. Now here's more rocks. I wanted to put a big like area fence in this where these rocks are, because theoretically, even though no one would do it, people could technically jump over into the lake very easily and then get in the way, like get into the danger zone of Dragonfly. But I found a nice natural compromise with rocks again, and here we go. Even more theming is going in, and this is when I officially like settled on what the sawmill was going to be. The theme of this section of the log flume at least is that you've accidentally floated in to the sawmill log intake. No. And what happens to the logs in the sawmill? They get sawed in the sawmill. Oh, and it adds some real tension and stakes, you know. Are you going to get sawed? I'd probably get sued if that happened, so obviously you're not going to get sawed. You're going to narrowly avoid it. But, I don't know, I think altogether, I saved a very just kind of loose theme by making it the log intake. You know, hence why there's logs around you, because they just sort of throw them in the river and then they flow naturally into there. And then here's the big hook which takes the logs off of the river. Why do they miss you? You tell me. Either way, you will head up the lift hill and then turn the corner, see a log getting sawn in half, narrowly dodge it yourself, and then make your way out of the sawmill. Either way, here is the this is gonna be the actual entrance archway, because I find that when you have a big external sign, you do still need it doesn't get you out in an entrance archway, sadly. So yeah, I have to just build a very boring and generic one. But I think, oh no, hang on, there's more barrels. Even more barrels! Yes! All my barrel fans out there are loving this episode. But I think this might be nearing the end of the time lapse. No, it's not. I've still got to go to the restaurant. And also all this custom fencing. I wonder what fence I'm going to use. Is it going to be... yeah, that's right. It's the Viking rock fence again. No way. I love this fence. It's a very versatile one, in that you can just sort of use it on any natural theme and it just works. At that, and you can like kind of smush them together and nobody will notice. So they make for very nice queue fences. Will I ever use them outside of this area? Probably not, because I don't want to overuse them. But they are definitely the easy way out of custom fencing. Here's a theme park being Planet Coaster tip. If you're going to do custom fencing, but you think it's going to be a really, really long and boring job, use the Viking rock fences. They'll save you like a world of pain, because you can just sort of put them inside of each other, and they look completely natural doing that. What have I done? I've frozen again. Sorry. There we go. But I just find they're very nice general area fencing. Anyway, jumping ahead again, because you don't want to see me build a queue for 40 minutes. Let's get back to work on this restaurant. That's right. It's very exciting building, of course. Can I actually get there? Okay, I'm now inside the building. And this is roughly where I realised, oh no, I don't know what the theme in here is. So I've just started putting things on the wall. That is my running plan here. Just put stuff on the walls and see what sticks. And I think in the end, most of it did in fact stick. It's not the most interesting theme in here, but then again, this isn't a restaurant building game, is it? It's a theme park building game. And my skills do not lie in restaurant building. But anyway, as I say, I'm just sort of scrolling through every single item the game has to offer until I stumbled upon these nets, and I decided, you know what? These are very nice. I'm gonna put them everywhere. I just sort of spammed the nets. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason behind why there's nets everywhere. There just is. I just think they looked cool. And then also the second long table went in. Fantastic news for all the second long... Sorry, I've done that joke too many times now. For all my second long table fans out there. you're going to love what's just happened. And then on the front, I can decide really what to put. So I just put an information point and a toilet on the front. And that should be nearly the end of the time-lapse, I believe. How is it still going? What do I possibly do? Oh no, I put in a window. Sorry guys, my bad. I forgot there was still windows to go in. Anyway, that is all for the time-lapse. I'll see you in the real-time section. And here we are outside of this still yet to be named area. Oh, that was good timing, hello. Outside the still yet to be named area. It is very busy. I don't know why, but this park is incredibly busy. I don't know if this is just like a PC thing compared to a console thing, but oh my god, there's so many people here. So here we are outside twirling treetops, and the queue is still out the entrance, despite the fact that I, doubled its length, but sure. But that's not the focus right now, because let's head into this new, but technically old section. And here we are, as we walk in, you get a lovely view of the Ferris wheel there. Oh, there goes Dragonfly overhead. And then the very old waltzer style ride. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for Wildwood Falls. And, I honestly still love this sign. But either way, you should head into the queue. Because for this ride, I've done something I don't usually do for some reason. I'll explain this as I walk through the queue, but in my entire time playing this game, I've never really touched the ambient sounds. But, that's a whole sound bank of, non-soundtrack things I could be using. And you can hear it right now if I shut up for a second. Yeah, look, you might be able to hear it. I don't know. Sometimes OBS records the game really quiet. But I have it... there's forest sounds playing, and I decided to use that for the entire ride instead of any sort of music or soundtrack playing throughout the ride. It's going to be just purely ambient sounds, and I think it adds to it. I don't know why I'm waiting in the queue. I can walk through these people. So let's head on for a POV, and here we go. I'm going to say now, buckle in. This is going to be a very, very long POV because, well, it is a log flume, but I think I've given enough to look at throughout the ride. So here we go. Forgive me if I'm quiet throughout this. I'm not going to have much to say regarding it. But look, I can't move the camera now. I can. There's a sawmill ahead. Uh-oh. I sure hope we don't go into the log intake or anything. That'd be a right shame. Oh, no! We're going into the log intake! Ah, shucks. I will add as a note while we slowly go towards it. I am currently attached to the front of the boat, so my view is lower than the actual view. But the actual view on log flumes is awful in this game. You can't actually see anything. So, here we go. Oh, what have I done? Why am I back here? Hang on, how have I done that? Hold on. I don't know how I did that. Here we go. Get sprayed by some mist there. Ooh, if we head underneath the saw blade. Oh no, is it going to chop us in half? No. Here we go. Oh, down that first drop. Shouldn't get you too wet, but then again, knowing log flumes, that's going to be the wettest drop on the whole ride. Not this one, which, if I've timed it correctly, never mind, the ride's, I've only just opened the ride, so it's probably not going to be one coming down the drop. But usually you get a pretty good view of that drop there. Anyway, here we go. So we head into the spooky cave. Ooh. Like I say, this cave holds no real importance. This ride doesn't have a story, but this cave holds no importance at all. It's just a spooky, fun little bit. Ooh. Sorry, I've gone quiet so you can hear the ambient sounds. Here we go, heading up this lift. Oh, this must mean there's a massive drop coming, surely. Ooh. Oh goodness, there it is. Ah! God, this is going to be the biggest drop ever known to man. Oh no! I lied, it's the smallest drop you've ever seen. Oh, like I say, knowing log flumes, you would get absolutely drenched off of that and not the actual main drop. Here we go. Down towards the waterfalls, you get sprayed by some water here. Just in case you weren't already wet enough. As we head down towards the waterfalls, you can hear them off in the distance if I shut up. Okay, fine, that's wind. They didn't have a sound effect for waterfalls, so I've used wind in place here, but I think it works well enough. And there you go, as you pass by them. I can't turn the camera, there we go. As you pass by them. Oh, look at that. Yeah, go on, that would be quite cool in real life, I think, if you rode past some big waterfalls. And here we go. Oh no. We're going up. which probably means we're going to go back down very shortly. Here we go. You get a lovely view from up here, though. Not yet, of course, we're only surrounded by trees. But just for a split second at the top, you get a lovely view of Dragonfly. But I think we've got more pressing matters than our views right now. Well, you can't really see it. There you go. It's over there in the distance somewhere. But here we go. On the big main drop. Whoa! And yeah, you would get soaked. I'll have to show you that from off-ride in a second, because my goodness, you would get soaked. Actually, I think we'll see it as we come around this corner. Oh, but look at that. A water effect went off. Whoa, I wonder if it'll splash us. It's nowhere near the trough, so it shouldn't splash us, hopefully. Alright, if I've timed it correctly, now there should be a boat coming down the drop any second now. No, or not. Alright, cool. Thanks, game. Oh, here it comes. Oh, no! 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 Oh, the boat turned. Alright, there might be another opportunity to see it as we go up here. Oh, I can't believe that. The boat turned specifically as it was coming down the drop. We get a lovely view of Dragonfly's maintenance bay, although it is very nicely disguised by being green. And here we go. We're all surrounded by willow trees, which... Oh, I've missed a drop again, haven't I? We're surrounded by willow trees, which is to show that you're coming back to the area now. You're returning to the normal area that you got on the ride. But I feel like I've captured like the nature of log swims quite well in the way that they've just sort of like vanished off into the trees for 20 minutes. There you go. Look at that massive splash. You would get drenched. But yeah, I feel like I've quite nicely captured how they like sort of go to like a weird back forest of the park you didn't even know existed, and then just come back as if nothing happened. But here we go, as we flow down nicely, pass by the queue, which there's no one in it this time. Hooray! Yeah, with how busy everything else in the park, I'm surprised there's no one in here. Now I think it's probably because I've just reopened the ride, but here we go. Past the queue, you get to wave at everyone awkwardly as they see how wet you've gotten and second guess their choice of getting in the queue as you roll back into the station. And, oh, we've left the ride. Hello, everyone. We've left the ride. Wow, wasn't that fun? But now let's head around here to the restaurant, which I've named Forest Feast. There's a lot of people wanting information, but I'll tell you what, they want more. Forest Feast. And, oh, wow, it is packed in here. Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I just sort of saw this netting and thought, yeah, I'm going to put that everywhere. I didn't think of anything to put up there yet, but I'll get around to that when I get around to that. Either way, that is the end for this episode. Sorry it's been such a long one. It's probably come out to about, if I had to guess, 33 minutes is my prediction. I haven't seen the final time yet. But we're not going to be riding the 2 flat rides either. But they do still need names, so I am very much so open to suggestions for those. Anyway, that is all for today. See you, hopefully, on Tuesday. Goodbye, all.